Okay, I'll show you what the umpires saw. We see the anti-clockwise turn by GBR. We see both boats do a pretty aggressive turn towards each other. The umpires had New Zealand hold, GBR keep aiming a little bit longer, and then New Zealand bailing out and GBR bailing out down. They got to about between 2 and 5 metres, 2 metres between the hull and the foil, and 5 metres between the foils longitudinally, and we penalised GBR. We just had a frank and fruitful discussion with people from GBR, and while they disagree, they felt that New Zealand just dialed them down. The umpires felt that when New Zealand sort of got onto a course and held, GBR then spent about roughly 2 seconds holding, if not turning up slightly, which put New Zealand in a position where they thought there'd be a contact, so New Zealand took an option to come down. The GBR believes that New Zealand just hunted them down and never gave them to keep clear. And I think where we left it is we were agreeing to disagree.
Want to explain the foils up and down, Richard?
Yeah, this version you're seeing is actually closer to live umpire, or it's the live umpire software. So what you're seeing here for once is our foils. We actually get to see what the foils do. So if you notice in the boats, you've got the grey and the black inside the diamonds. So that tells us what foil's up or down or where they're going. That doesn't get put out publicly, by the way, because then some boffin in the team will work out how they're all adjusting the foils, which is a trim and sailing performance base. Umpires aren't smart enough to do that, so we're allowed to see it. So part of this turn as well, and while it's not significant, it's not determinant to decide that New Zealand had to keep clear, but you'll see that in part of the turn, GBR swaps to their leeward foil and then lifts the windward foil up before then dropping it again. And we've been explained that has nothing, the foil shouldn't be counted, but we would sit there thinking if you're in New Zealand and you watch a boat lift a windward foil, that suggests they're going up, not down. And again, we don't sail these boats, we might be wrong, but that at the time was how we adjudicated it.
Richard, that last statement there, is that a very crucial part of just where you're saying that we don't sail the boats? Is that was a bit of feedback that I had from Ben yesterday. Is there sort of a war between umpires and sailors here of how these boats are being sailed and should be sailed and what they can actually achieve and room and opportunity, and are they asking for an expansion of the time that they need to be given to dial away? Where's the argument?
Okay, it's not a war, it is always a tension. Every sailing event, it's there. And I would be crazy to think to say, oh yeah, we know exactly what these boats can do, especially in the class where we're seeing the performance parameters just on such a high trajectory. So we recognise that. And it's why when we have these meetings, we're trying to grab all a bit of data and knowledge that the umpire team can then keep improving on. So we're on a similar path. We think we can keep improving through the Cup as well. We don't want the boats to be close, and this is the discussion going, well, we don't want them close, and we're like, well, you guys keep driving them into situations where they are close, and then we are sort of relying on the rules to then call it one way or another. And I think that's something, that these boats, the rules are getting absolutely stretched as well, because these boats are doing things that normal boats don't do. But I don't think it's a war. I think it's more of when we get to these points and we're told, oh, you guys are putting us into dangerous situations. I'm thinking, well, no, we're not driving the boats into those situations. But we have a set of rules that sort of, we felt it was fair enough with our knowledge to go, at one point in time, we think New Zealand should be bailing out, and they did.